A very good evening to all. So in the last class, we have studied about the different potentials of the cell, like resting and action potentials. Okay, how they are generated. So what is the depolarization and what is the repolarization? What is the action potentials? And so what are the absolute refractive period and the relative refractive period? Okay, so these are some of the concepts we have learned from the last class for the nerve cells and muscle cells. So today we'll see the propagation of action potentials. After generating the action potentials from the different cells of the body, so those action potentials will be excites the nearby cells. So when a cell is excited, okay, and it generates the action potential, that is ionic current begins to flow. Okay, this process can excite the neighboring cells. Okay, the generation of these action potentials will excite the neighboring cells or adjacent areas of the same cells. Adjacent areas of the same cells. Okay. So like this, one cell will be excited the another cell, and that cell will be again excited, and due to that, the action potentials will be generated, and that action potential again produced action potential will be again excites the next cell. Like that, the generated action potential will be transferred to one cell to another cell. Transferred from one cell to another cell. Okay. So in case of nerve cells with a long fiber, the action, this is action potential, generated over a very small segments of the fiber's length, but is propagated in both directions from the original point of the excitation. So if you consider the nerve cells, okay, so for these nerve cells, the generated potential will be transferred in both the directions. So it means it will generate it from upward direction and the downward direction. So the rate at which the action potential moves down a fiber or propagated from cell to cell is called as the propagation rate. Is called as propagation rate. The rate at which the action potentials will be moves down a fiber or propagated from cell to cell is called as propagation rate. So in nerve fibers, the propagation rate is also called as the nerve conduction rate. In nerve fibers, the propagation rate is also called as the nerve conduction rate or conduction velocity. Conduction velocity. The velocity varies widely depending on the type and diameter of the nerve fiber. So the velocity of these potentials or the movement of these action potentials from one cell to another cell will depends upon the type of the cell and the diameter of the nerve fiber. So generally we have nerve fibers. The usual velocity range in the nerves is 20 to 140 meters per second. So within a second, it travels around 20 to 140 meters in a nerves, nerve cells. Okay. So the velocity, conduction velocity, propagation rate of the potential. The propagation through heart muscles is slower with an average rate from 0.2 to 0.4 milliseconds meters per seconds. So generally, uh, in the heart muscles, the generated potentials, okay, the action potentials which are generated in the heart muscles will be moves somewhat slower in the compared to nerve fibers. When compared to nerve fibers, these are moves very slower. So that is an average rate from 0.2 to 0.4 meters per seconds. So whereas for the nerves, it is 20 to 140 meters per second. This is 0.2 to 0.4 meters per second Okay. And there are some special delay fibers will be there in the heart, that is between atria and ventricles. In the atria and ventricles, there are special delay fibers will be there, and these delay fibers will be used to delay the signal or potentials, okay, from atria to ventricle. And these potentials will propagate at an even slower rate when compared to this one, 0.03 to 0.05 meters per second. Okay, so some special delay fibers will be there between atria and ventricles, and those delay fibers will be transfers this propagation rate of the potentials with the 0.03 to 0.05 meters per second. It is very slower when compared to the heart muscles. So this is about the propagation of the action potentials, and next one is bioelectric potentials. So bioelectric potentials. So we are saying that the cells in the body, nerves and muscle cells will be develops the potentials. Okay, and some special potentials will be generated from different parts of the body. So to measure the bioelectric potentials, a transducer is capable of converting ionic potentials and currents into electric potentials, and currents is required. So we are saying that potentials are generating. Those are ionic currents and ionic potentials due to ionic ions, due to sodium chloride and potassium ions. These currents will be generated, and for measuring those potentials, we have to require a transducer which converts from the ionic voltage currents to the electric potentials and currents. So here we have one representation, that is we can represent a letter, that is gram. So it is not like a kilogram, so it is a gram. So the name of the instrument used to measure the potentials and graphical reproduce the waveform ends in the suffix graph. So here we have a gram and graph. So there is a clear difference is there, gram and graph. So the waveform which is generated, okay, the name of the waveform will be represented with the gram, and the instrument which is used to produce or to measure that particular waveform is called as the graph. Okay, for example, the cardiogram, electrocardiogram. This is the electrocardiogram. So the name of the waveform resulting from the heart's electrical activity. So in the heart electrical activity from the heart, the potential will be generated. That potential will be measured. Okay, and the obtained waveform, the measured waveform, is called as electrocardiogram. And the instrument which is used to measure this particular waveform is known as the electrocardiograph. So electrocardiograph, graph corresponds to instrument, and the gram corresponds to the name of the waveform. The name of the waveform. Okay. So this clear difference should be known. So electrocardiogram, both will be represented by abbreviation as ECG. ECG. Here it is electrocardiogram, ECG. Similarly, this instrument ECG. So ECG equipment, we can call it as ECG equipment, and the waveform is also called as ECG. But whenever we have to separate, we can represent a waveform is electrocardiogram and the instrument is electrocardiograph. So there are different types of signals or waveforms will be developed in our body. Okay, so those waveforms or potentials will be we have to measure. So these are the different types of the bioelectric signals and their frequency range, voltage range, and what type of the electrodes are used to detect those signals. and from where these signals are generated, that is the origin. So considering the first one is electrocardiogram, so it is the waveform. So here all these are waveforms only. Electrocardiogram, or we can call it as a vector cardiogram. Electrocardiogram or vector cardiogram. So electrocardiogram ECG, you can call it as abbreviated as ECG, and the generated waveform has the frequency range of 0.05 to 100 hertz, and the generated voltage in terms of the microvolts, that is 10 to 5000 microvolts, and which covers the fetal range. Okay, and the next one is what are the electrodes are used for measuring of this ECG waveform. So surface electrodes used with jelly, paste and cream. Needle electrodes are less noisy. So generally surface electrodes will be used, and the origin is hot merges. From the hot merges, the ECG waveform will be generated. ECG potential will be generated, and by measuring that we can get the waveform that will be considered as the ECG waveform, electrocardiogram. Similarly, electroencephalogram. Electroencephalogram. This is EEG. EEG. So its frequency range is 0.1 to 100 hertz. So there are variation of the frequency range will be there. Okay, the generated potential has different frequency range. That frequency range is in between. It is having 0.1 to 100 hertz, and the voltage range is changes from 2 to 200 microvolts. For measuring this EEG output, surface and needle electrodes will be used. So what is the origin of generation of this EEG is brain, that is neuronal activity of the brain. So in the brain, from the brain we can get the EEG waveform, electroencephalogram. And the next one is cerebral potentials, and these are the pulse duration 0.6 milliseconds to 0.1 seconds, and the voltage range is 10 to 1 lakh microvolts. And for measuring of this cerebral potentials, deep needle electrodes will be used, and the origin is cerebrum of the brain. And the next one is electromyogram. So electromyogram is measured from the skin modules. From the skin modules, we can obtain the potentials, and those potentials representation is nothing but the electromyogram, and its frequency range is 5 to 2000 hertz, and the voltage range is 20 to 5000 microvolts. For measuring of this electromyogram, we can use the surface or needle electrodes. And similarly, the next one is electrogastrogram. So electrogastrogram is corresponds to the waveform which is resulted when the electro potential will be resulted from the origin of peristaltic movements of the gastrointestinal tract. Peristaltic movements of the gastrointestinal tract. Okay. So and the frequency range is the generated waveform. Electrogastrogram frequency range is 0.05 to 0.2, and the voltage range is 10 to 350. And measuring electrodes are surface electrodes. And the next one is electroretinogram. Electroretinogram. So this is corresponds to retina of the eye. From the retina of the eye, we can get the potentials, and from by measuring those potentials, we will get the waveform, and those that is called as electroretinogram, ERG. And the frequency range is 0.01 to 200 hertz, and the voltage range is 0.5 to 1000 microvolts, and electrodes are corneal electrodes. And the last one is Sorry. So electrooculogram. Electrooculogram. So it is corneal retinal potential variations. So it is also from the eye only. So for this we can use the miniature surface electrodes, and the frequency range is DC to 100 Hz, and voltage range is 10 to 3500 microvolts. Okay, these are some of the bioelectric signals, its origin and frequency ranges, voltage ranges. The first one is the electrocardiogram. So after this we have to study the electrocardiogram. The biopotentials generated by the muscles of the heart results in the electrocardiogram, and it is abbreviated as ECG or EKG. So in the German language, we can represent it as a EKG. And this is the potential distribution, how the action potentials will be transferred from sinoatrial node to other parts of the other areas of the heart. If you consider here, so these are the cardiac nerves, that is cardio accelerator nerves. So these cardio accelerator nerves will be come from the brain. Okay, so these cardio accelerator nerves will be produces the action potentials, and those potentials will be excites the natural pacemaker. So our heart has a natural pacemaker, and that is called as sinoatrial node. Sinoatrial node. So from this sinoatrial node, so it will generate the action potentials. So it generates we can call those action potentials are called as impulses, and these generated action potentials will be distributed different parts of the heart. So generally this is present at the above this atria, right atria, the right atrium. This is left atrium, and this is the right atrium. Above this right atrium we have the natural pacemaker, that is called as sinoatrial node, and from this the electrical potentials, that is action potentials, will be transferred to different parts of the heart. So first of all, these action potentials will be distributed to the both the atriums, right atrium and left atrium. Okay, so by the application of this particular potential, the muscles of this atrium will be makes a contraction. The contraction of the muscles will takes place, and due to that the pumping of the blood will be sent to the ventricles. Pumping of the blood will send to ventricles. And one more thing, these two atria will be contracted at a time. Similarly, both the ventricles will be contracted at the same time. Okay. By the application of these impulses or the potentials, these atriums will be contracted, and after these action potentials or the potentials will be reaches the atrioventricular node. So this is the atrioventricular node. So this atrioventricular node so after this potentials will reach this atrioventricular node, so this node will be provides some delay. So previously we are seeing that, so delay fiber, so this delay fiber will be provides some break of this particular potentials after certain amount of period of time. Again the potentials will be distributed, transferred to ventricles. Okay, here we have bundle of his. So these are the fibers, muscle fibers. Okay, and these muscle fibers will be covers entire ventricles. Okay, so this bundle of his will be divided into two parts: left bundle branch, this is the left bundle branch, and this is the right bundle branch. Okay, so these fibers, the muscle fibers will be distributed as a small parts, and those will be connected to the ventricles. And by the application of this action potential from the atrioventricular node, these muscle potentials will be travels through these branches, and through this branch it reaches the right ventricle, and through this branch it will be reaches the left ventricle, and finally there are small branches will be there, and these are called as Purkinje fibers. Purkinje fibers. These Purkinje fibers will be connects to the ventricles. The generated action potentials from the AV node will be travels through these branches and finally reaches these Purkinje fibers, and those pulses will be applies on these ventricles. These are ventricle chambers. Okay, so left ventricle and right ventricle. By the application of these potentials to these ventricles, and those ventricles will be contracted. When it will be contracted, there is a application, the flowing of the blood will be takes place. The contraction of the blood, contraction of the heart will makes the distribution of the blood. So this is the typical ECG waveform. So ECG waveform is this waveform is corresponds to the potentials which are generated on the heart. Okay, so here this waveform is called as PQRS T waveform. PQRST U waveform. So generally it is having different potentials. This one is called as P waveform. In this part will be called as a P waveform, and this is the amplitude of the P waveform, and this combined QRS called as QRS complex waveform. QRS complex waveform. QRS complex waveform. And this is the T waveform. This is the T waveform. So like this, we can break the ECG waveform into different segments. Okay. So each segment will represents one particular diagnosis. It will answers the diagnosis, one problem. So here we have P waveform and QRS waveform. So if you consider the P waveform, how this P waveform will be generated? That is atrial depolarization or contraction. So we are saying that from natural pacemaker, the signals will be transferred to the both atrium. So that is P waveform is the result of the atrial depolarization or contraction, and its amplitude is around 0.25 millivolts, and its duration is 0.12 to 0.22. That is PR wave, PR interval. They are considered as PR interval. PR interval. And the next one is R wave. So R wave is considered as QRS complex waveform, and it is the result of the repolarization of the atria and the depolarization of the ventricles. So depolarization is nothing but from resting potential to action potential. Generation of the action potential from the resting potential is considered as the depolarization. Repolarization is nothing but from the action potential to resting potential is called the repolarization. So P waveform is generated by the depolarization of the atrium. Okay, in the atrium chamber, so we can produce the action potential from the resting potential. Okay, from the R waveform is obtained by repolarization of the atria and the depolarization of the ventricles. Repolarization of the atria, that is action potential to resting potential, and depolarization of the ventricles. So here the ventricles will be get action potential, and the T waveform is ventricular repolarization. So by the ventricular repolarization, we can get the T waveform. So that is called as relaxation of myocardium. And similarly, ST interval, this is ventricle contraction. U waveform, slow repolarization of the intraventricular system, that is Purkinje fibers. So repolarization and depolarization of different different organs, different parts of the heart. So these waveforms will be generated. And the next one is electroencephalogram. So EEG. So it is a recorded representation of the bioelectric potentials generated by the neuronal activity of the brain, and it is called as an electroencephalogram, and it is EEG. The EEG is a very complex pattern. So whereas EC is, when compared to ECG, EEG is a very complex pattern, and measuring of this EEG also somewhat difficult when compared to ECG. When compared to ECG, measuring of EEG is somewhat difficult. So EEG potentials measured at the surface of the scalp actually represents the combined effect of potentials from a fairly wide region of the cerebral cortex and from various points of beneath. Okay, so from different parts of the uh, brain, and also from the cerebral cortex, from the region of the cerebral cortex, we will get the potentials, and those potentials will be measured, okay, by using the surface electrodes which are fixed on the scalp of the brain. Okay, and the frequency of EEG waveform is represents the mental ability of a person. So after getting these waveforms, we can analyze what is the mental ability of a person. So some of the characteristics of EEG waveform that can be related to epileptic. So that is nothing but the morcha. You may know in Telugu. So epileptic and seizures, sudden variation of behavior due to temporary change in the electrical function of the brain. Sudden alteration of the behavior. So sudden some persons will be sudden changes in their behavior. So that is due to the electrical function variation, electrical function of the brain variation, and also sleep. So while sleeping, so we also get the waveforms by using the EEG. So these are some of the EEG waveforms and their frequency ranges, and these are called as beta, alpha, theta, and delta. Okay, so the first one is beta waveform. So it is in the frequency range of 14 to 30 hertz, and this waveform will be generated when awake with mental activity. So the person is having I mean awake, not sleep. Okay, awake with mental activity. Okay, and with this we'll get the 14 to 30 hertz of frequency range. We will get this potentials, and awake and resting, that is alpha waveform. So it is in the range of 8 to 13 hertz of frequency range. So when the is sleeping, when he is sleeping, we will get this type of the waveforms, and these are type of waveforms are called as theta, and the frequency range is 4 to 7 hertz. And that one is, next one is deep sleep. So with this we will get the very less frequency, 3.5 hertz. These are called as delta waveforms. So gamma waveform, beta, alpha, theta, and delta. Okay. So when we are doing some problem solving, say previous one only. So with more explanation, problem solving and concentration, then we get the gamma waveforms. And we are busy and active mind, we'll get the beta waveforms. And alpha is reflective and restful. And these are the drowsiness and sleeping and dreaming. So we'll get the delta waveforms. The frequency of the generated waveforms will be changes depending upon the brain activity. So again, motor functions and higher mental, these are the waveforms. And beta forms are normal waking state, concentration, focus, 5 physical sense, and integrated. And the alpha waveforms are relaxed, light meditation, creative, super learning, consciousness. So like this we have different EEG waveforms which are generated in the brain. So another one is evoked response. So another form of the EEG measurements is called as the evoked response. This is nothing but the measure of the disturbance in the EEG pattern that results from external stimuli such as a flash of light or a click of sound. You may experience that whenever a sudden flash of light is seen, or some sort of these different type of sounds were heard, so our brain will provide some sort of the different potentials. Suppose we are observed some sudden snake is there, suddenly in the night we are observed sudden snake, how our brain will be responses. Okay, so like that, by using abnormal cases, abnormal situations, okay, that is also here external stimuli. So we are providing some external input in the form of flashlight or a click of sound. By using these different types of inputs, the brain will be also changes its functionality, electrical functionality, and due to that we will get different waveforms. And that measurement of that situation or disturbance waveform is considered as evoked response. By applying some external stimuli, we will measure the how the brain will be reacts. Okay, and functionality of the brain will be changes. So that responses are called as evoked responses. Since these disturbance responses are quite repeatable from one flash or click to the next, so the evoked response is distinguished from the remainder of ECG activity and from the noise. By averaging techniques, we can get this evoked responses. And another one is electromyogram. So the bioelectric potentials associated with the muscle activity, these are obtained from the muscle activity, and these are called as EMG. These potentials measured at the surface of the body near a muscle of interest or directly from the muscle of penetrating skin with needle electrodes. So we can use the needle electrodes, or we can use the surface electrodes to measure this electromyogram. Most of the EMG measurements are used to obtain an indication of the amount of activity of a given muscle or group of muscles rather than individual muscle fibers. This EMG waveform is a summation of the group of the muscles, is usually summation of the individual action potentials from the fibers constituting the muscles or muscles being measured. The amplitude of the measured EMG waveform is the instantaneous sum of the all action potentials occur in both positive and negative polarities at a given pair of electrodes. They sometimes add or sometimes cancel. So the EMG waveform appears like a random noise waveform. So it does not have any pattern. Okay, it may be changes. Sometimes it may be add, sometimes it may be positive or negative. Okay, so that's why this will be called as the random noise waveform. And other bioelectric potentials also we have electroretinogram. So already we have discussed. There is a record of the complex pattern of bioelectric potentials obtained from the retina of the eye. From the retina of the eye, we can get the electroretinogram. This is usually a response to a visual stimulus. The next one is electroaculogram. It is a measure of the variations in the corneal and retinal potential as affected by the position and movement of the eye. And the third one is electrogastrogram. So it is the associated with the peristaltic movements of the gastrointestinal tract. Okay. So like this we have number of waveforms, and those are produced from the bioelectric potentials, and from this we can measure the what are the activities from these obtained waveforms, what is